I was looking at the Sultai deck that we had played a bunch of that I played in the event on Saturday. And I was like, well, what if we try some other colors in it? Like, I liked the binding of the gods' black core, like the Conquer's Death, Nightmare, Soul Shatter, Heartless Act, Mazemind Tome, Binding of the Old Gods. Like, this like 20-ish cards here provides good answers to a wide range of things, and this provides reasonable card advantage. And I wanted to try some Jund. Valki with Tibalt here is a cheap card that also scales into the late game with the Cosmic Imposter to provide additional card advantage. Goldspan Dragon is another source of ramp while also being an aggressive threat. So with Binding and Goldspan here, we're technically playing 8 cards that ramp us to Ugin without playing any cards that are just dedicated ramp cards. The one big thing we lose playing Jund compared to Sultai is that we don't have a Jund Triome, so I have to split between a couple of green-red and a couple of green-black Triomes, which feels a little bit bad. And because we don't have a Triome, I do unfortunately have to give up on, what's it called? The snow creature land. So I've got some Crawling Barrens in here, but we can't afford to have all of our colors of mana consistently without playing a bunch of pathways Faceless Haven. We can't play Faceless Haven because we need pathways to hit our colors consistently in this color combination that doesn't have a Triome. So something's got to give there, and the snow mana is what gives. We're also losing Graven Lore as a card advantage spell when we're dropping blue, so like we're a little bit less incentivized. But yeah, so we're giving up Graven Lore, but like we're gaining Valki, right? So like Cosmic Imposter here is another way to generate card advantage as well. So we're trading one piece of card advantage for another. And this piece of card advantage is a little bit more flexible, right? Valki especially, like I mentioned, the red-black Kroxa deck was one of the most represented decks in the Star City Games tournament yesterday, and this card coming down on 2 and taking their Kroxa and then turning into a Kroxa on your 3 and attacking them for 9 basically is super strong. So I think just generically good card that's also well positioned against the red-black deck that's been popular. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and try and think about what does Jund look like compared to the Sultai that we played. Hey, JD, thank you for the sub gifts, and thanks for the invite to the tournament this weekend. It was fun. Is this good enough to keep against rogues? I think so. We've got all of our colors. We got a Mazemind. I'm not playing snow basics because I like the cosmetic appearance of my non-snow basics. But Jeff, you're technically playing Valki, Jeff, and the Valki can take their snow payoff card, so it's strictly correct to play snow basics, Jeff. You're right. It is strictly correct to play snow basics. You'll pry my cosmetics from my cold, dead hands, okay? I like the cosmetics that I'm playing, and I'm giving up equity in an edge case. It feels bad that I have to choose between the cosmetics that I like and being as strictly competitive as possible. Ooh, that's a great draw. Kink Knack, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. Is Valki good enough? I feel like it's not. Alright, let's bind him up, huh? Guy, I'd like to find a land to play Goldspan Dragon on curve here. Perfect. It's a land that attacks too. Here there be dragons. You're not sure you saw Goldband being an MVP going into the set. You should reevaluate how you evaluate cards then. Most of the 4/4 flying haste dragons, traditionally speaking, tend to be standard playable, regardless of what their particular gimmick is. Hopefully they tap out here so we can play Ugin next turn. Or at least tap off of blue. Perfect. Four flying haste or 5 with no other text is probably playable. Disagree with that. I think that's a bad take. But like here, for example, it gave us 2 treasures, which let me cast this Ugin ahead of curve. I don't know what Wrathy Dragon is. How recent is Wrathy Dragon as a card? When was that printed? Do you have another Blood Chief's Thirst? If they have another Blood Chief's Thirst, we could be in trouble. Wrathy Dragon is not at all what I just described, so I'm gonna give you a 10-minute timeout. Doesn't have haste. Makes you sacrifice lands, just not even remotely comparable.
Do not ignore my draconic talent.
Yeah, the Sultai Yorion piles have looked neat. They seem reasonable on my list of things to maybe poke at before the tournament this weekend. I don't think I want to attack with Crawling Barrens while it dies to Heartless Act in this matchup. Good chance we get milled out here. Shoot, actually, if they have the rogues get +1 attack card, they can kill my Ugin this turn, right? Yeah, we played Yasuo Aphelios, and it was really good again, Coach Berg. Heartless Act can remove 3/1/1 counters from something, for reference, so if this doesn't have 4 counters on it, it can in fact die to Heartless Act. Okay, so my opponent missed milling me 2 cards by not playing this proactively.
Your fate is sealed.
Yeah, that's probably a tier 1 deck in this format-ish if you haven't been paying attention. It's an established archetype. I think that was what won the SCG tournament this weekend.
You are too dangerous to roam.
Hey, Bulletproof Pope, thank you for the 45 months. That's a long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Good morning, good morning. Let's kill this before they can flash and other things. The tournament go. You can find my tournament run on my YouTube channel. I edited out all the downtime, and uploaded the video there. It's for the 23-month Strax. How many cards left in our deck? 17? 17. Not a lot.
I will destroy if I must.
I mean, they're also at 7, though, so... Close game here. Do 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 do. Beep 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 do 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 do. Thanks for the 1.5 years, Zekalian. Yeah, it's good to be back. That's 8 cards to bring in. Gosh, what do I want to cut here? Is this an Elspeth's Nightmare matchup? I almost feel like it's not, huh? It's kind of slow and expensive. Cut all of our 3-mana stuff. Mazemind Tome's kind of whatever. They can screw with our scries. Maybe I leave in a couple removal spells over the Mazeminds, like leave in two Nightmares. Probably fine. Let's do that. Yeah, the current standard constructed format is very good. I like it. I like it a lot. Jamming with JC. Thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. That's fine. It's our green mana. Our Scry on 1's probably not worth anything because of the deck they're playing, but it's definitely keepable. You say it's GRN standard good. Nah, not at all. Or like a couple of cards from Eldring being banned probably from GRN standard good, but I also don't expect them to ban anything. I think the format's like reasonable enough that they're going to leave it alone. In for a land if we can have it. Grab. When is Eldritch Origin again? Next fall? Not for a long time. I think we take their crab because it's their non-creature for of 1 mind. Eldritch Moon Standard was fine. Eldritch Moon Standard just doesn't stand out in my mind as being remarkable. It's just like an aggressively average standard format. Probably Ember, Cleave, and Henge. Cleave, I don't think Cleave generates very satisfying gameplay. Would be my complaint on average. The quality of the gameplay when Ember Cleave is involved tends to be bad. Thanks for the 15 months, Washington. I appreciate you keeping me around. Welcome back. I think a lot of the adventure cards, are pretty appropriate. I think the adventure cards largely get lumped in unfairly with other things from Eldraine. I think the adventure cards by and large are fine. This was a really good draw for them. Yikes. Meteorologist, thank you for the 20 months. Good morning. Try and draw a card here. We'll start here and get counterspelled. This is saw it coming. Really? Okay. Kind of surprises me. Second green source here is a good draw, because it means if they mill us into the spider, we get to, they mill us into the spider, we get to cast it. And actually, the spider being a card in our deck might have meant it's correct to binding this and leave their flying unit alive. Okay, so our spells are going to get to resolve next turn, so that's nice. Would love to draw another removal spell so we can kill a couple other things. You managed to have a rogue deck mill a Chainweb yet? I have not. I'm very unlucky. Alright, with that draw, we're actually just killing both the Thieves Guild Enforcers, right? Four cards in our deck. Yikes. Hey, there's a Chainweb. Right, Admiral? I always feel like when people try and compare tournament to ladder play, they just like, that's like the number one sign they really don't. They really haven't been a tournament player. They're just very, very different mindsets and days and types of play. I'm leading on this as hopefully bait for this Saw It coming, so that way I can play Valki and take their Duress. That's what I would like to have happen here. Lumbering Falls. Thanks for lumbering back on over with your Prime. I appreciate the 25 months. All right, 23 cards in our deck. One could argue I was a master at beating chat. Now the question's gonna be, can they kill Valki, play Duress, and do other stuff here still? Yeah, they can. I guess they don't have an untapped land, so they can't kill Valki, play Duress, and play something from the bin all at once, which is nice. Worth noting they have this Egdom's Awakening in hand too, though. Alright, so they're gambling that they're going to find an untapped land in 4 cards, which is a pretty likely bet, I would assume. Yeah, they found that too. I think we're just dead at this point. Huh? Oh, Egdom's could be an untapped land. That's true. They'd rather it not be a land, though, right? Is Gargaroth actually good here? It might not be. I'm gonna play some more removal spells. Egdom's Awakening makes me want Elspeth's Nightmare more. Clearing. Them having Egdom's Awakening gives the 3rd chapter on Elspeth's Nightmare extra value. Nah, I disagree with that statement, Navier. I think if they play Egdom's as an untapped land there, that's super good for us. Are there any Kaldheim cards in the opponent's deck? There are not. At least not generally speaking. Yeah, this is fine. Our deck name's in the stream title. It's also available on your overlay. Oh, they have Saw It coming. That's true. A lot of these rogue decks aren't playing that card, but you're right. This particular opponent is. Yeah, I think I agree with that assessment, Admiral. I like the power level of Kaldheim, but it's lower than Eldraine, so we're gonna be kind of an awkward next little bit. And then we'll get to a spot that's good overall in January, hopefully. Or October. October, not January. It's just what's January. October, 8 months from now. I think I want this as a second green, right? I think from a core design standpoint, there's a bunch of things in Eldraine that are great. I don't think Eldraine was just a miss at all. I disagree with that take. I just wish. Yeah, Admiral has a perfect summation there. Eldraine is a well-designed set and not a well-balanced set. That would be my take too. I agree with that. It's a very great way to articulate the problem with Eldraine. The problem with Eldraine wasn't any of the cards from a core design standpoint. From a core design standpoint, I think if you said, Jeff, from a core design standpoint, what are cards you would get rid of? The list is really short. It's like basically Once Upon a Time, I think. I think most everything else in Eldraine, you could be like, yeah, this is fine with just like small changes. I think the only card that's just like straight up offensive in that set is Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is a card that just shouldn't have been printed. Even Oko. Oko is so easy to fix with balancing. It's like unreasonably easy. card is so close to being fine. They missed it by like this much. Oko is a numbers fix. Whenever a change can be summarized by just changing a couple of numbers on a card, I think it's fine. Once Upon a Time is one of the few times I looked at a card and I was like, why on God's green earth are they printing this card? This is awful and shouldn't exist. This is too good and does something for the game that's bad and it should not be happening. Once Upon a Time was a stop it, get some help type situation. How do you rebalance Hedge or Embercleave? I don't know, just take some text off them. Get rid of the 1/1 on both of them. Make them cost more. Make Lovestruck Beast a 4/5 so you can't play Henge on turn 4 ever. There's so many little ways you could fix these things. All right, eliminate me, daddy. Yes, you've gained 3. Got me. That's true too. That's true too. You should go back in time. An easy way to go back in time is go back in time and look at all of the people who are respected as good Magic players that chose not to register 4 copies of Once Upon a Time in their various green decks while that card was legal in Standard. And those are people whose deck building thoughts you should take with huge grains of salt. They're probably almost assuredly still good Magic players mechanically, but as far as like understanding which cards are good and how to build decks, like there were way too many people that were registering like 1, 2, and 3 copies of Once Upon a Time. All right, and then they're gonna Saw It Coming us, and then they're gonna get to trade one of these for this, and we're gonna get milled out. That's unfortunate. This puts us to 9 cards. No, people, like, there were literally people that are like, there were literally MPL people who were like registering 3 copies of Once Upon a Time in the last tournament it was legal in. It was very silly. I'm not talking about week 1. Week 1, people who are good at deck building should have figured that out too. But like, I'm like literally talking about like last tournament the card is legal in. People still not playing enough copies of it. Well, I guess this Cling to Dust makes my Chainweb pretty bad here, huh? What are you missing? You're missing the fact that it gives a single color way less variance than every other color is what you're missing. That's the key difference. You can't variance reduction in Magic is a good thing, but not when you give it in a skewed manner. You can't just give one color this incredibly variance reducing mechanic. You throw the balance of the entire game out of whack. Yeah, it's like if only blue could mulligan. And even not only that, but like the other thing that made it offensive is even if it was a cycle, even a cycle of a card like that wouldn't necessarily be a good thing, because all of your decks starting at 56 cards with 4 auto includes also just isn't good, right? Like, when Magic decks have these cards, it's like, well, you better be playing this or you're stupid. Like, it makes deck building less interesting. And from a deck building perspective, that's what Magic does better than most games. Like, oh, deck building in this game is sweet. Well, the good news is, if they're exiling my Chainweb here, they're not drawing a card, they're just gaining life, which is good for us. There we go. Auto-include cards tend to be pretty dry and uninteresting. They're things that you don't want to have happen. They milled my 8th land, chat. I'm gonna trade for Thieves Guild Enforcer here. If this is a Saw It coming, we're probably dead here. Yeah, almost assuredly a Saw It coming. There's a good chance this game is over. Honestly, our Cling to Dust is probably our best draw in the deck at this point. We have 2 of those in 33 cards. But I assume even if we spike the land, this isn't resolving. We have not seen any other Foretell cards out of them. No. We just hope to draw a second Ugin here. Oh, we don't have any more Ugins, so they got milled. Yikes. I think that's the game without any more Ugins in our deck. We drew a land. Sounds about right. Tibalt could have been okay there. Yeah, that's true. We have more than just Ugin as big planeswalkers at the top end. Chariot's stat line is unfortunately just really bad into Lovestruck Beasts and other things. Nah, not at all, Sword and Shield. We had the first weekend of lots of big tournaments happen, and there isn't an objectively best deck that came out of the tournament data. It's been a while since that was the case. A bunch of different people played a bunch of different things to varying amounts of success. Man, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I played a tournament this weekend too. You can find my tournament run on my YouTube channel with the downtime edited out. Ashton, an Apex Predator, welcome. Enter the battlefield, choose a creature type, spend mana only on the chosen creature type or legendary spells. Red-black midrange was super popular, and it also didn't do anything. It performed very, very poorly. At a less than 50% win rate. Yeah, I have no interest in playing against Oko again. Sounds exhausting, so I won't be doing that anytime soon. Hello, youngest son. What's up? No, there isn't any DLC for that game, man. Okay, I will look after, but last time I looked, there wasn't DLC for that one, okay? Yep, maybe it got added since the last time I looked. I will check. I will check after I'm done working. I don't have any double green cards in my main deck, so I think we play this as black. I think we're just firing up Crawling Barrens and trying to kill them here. Not really sure what the opponent's deck is doing. Didn't really look like they had much that Nightmare kills or Spikefield, so I'm going to trade out one of the Spikefields for Valakut's Awakening. Bring in a couple extra threats. Click submit. I thought I heard Rakdos midrange did well over the weekend. Is a good spot to see the data. Yeah, MTG Melee has a bunch of information on it. That's the third-party site that hosts most of the arena tournaments. Red-black was popular on the weekend, but popular and having a good win rate are two different things. So red-black was the most registered deck in the SCG tournament yesterday. They had 320 people, I think, thereabouts. And red-black was the most registered deck, but it did not have a good win rate. It's like 44, 45%, if I recall correctly. Let me check that number offhand, so I'm not talking out of my butt. They had 318 players. Black-red was 20% of the field. Oh, it had a little bit better win rate, they said. It had a 49.5% win rate, so close enough. That's fine. Average performance. The most popular deck having an average win rate like 49 to 52% is pretty ideal. If you wanna look at the information I'm talking about for that specific event, like I said, there's a ton of good data up on Melee. That's for that specific tournament. And don't need a second tome. Yes, I agree with that. That's also been my experience. The Yorion decks devour any mid-range decks that don't have counter spells, is what my experience has been. Which is why I started with Sultan, why I'm a little bit weary about, like, this Jund build. I would be surprised if this Jund build can keep up with Yorion decks. So it needs 11 mana in total to work. So I think I'm actually gonna binding their binding here, Yo Dog, to stop them from ramping. Because keeping them off of World Tree mana as long as possible seems important.
Oh, so many painful memories.
Is MTG Melee as accurate as Mobalytics is for LR? No, not even close. MTG Melee only has information from tournaments that are played on their website, whereas Mobalytics has access to a bunch of ladder data via the API that Riot provides. They are not remotely comparable. Magic data tends to be a lot of, well, this is the best we've got. Maybe I'm supposed to save this to play as Valki next turn. Yeah, I'm choosing to make my deck strictly competitively in optimal 2 modes because I like the cosmetics that I have. But you are correct. If you want to play this deck, you should put Snowlands in it. There's no reason not to play Snow Basics. If anybody mentions the 2-3, you're getting a timeout because you know what you're doing. Honestly, it's probably wrong to play this. It's probably right to just sit on this until after they do this.
Do not ignore my draconic talents. Your efforts will not succeed. My flames.
The old Storm's Wrath to remove 2 loyalty from your Planeswalker, 4 loyalty from your Planeswalker. Hey, Kalo, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Alright, our Jund deck has bested the cheeky Jund Gods deck. Obviously needs a green source, has some scries and draws to find it though. Kaldheim board is so good. Hey, BSQR, thank you for the 17 months. Welcome back. Gotta take Daddy Crusher here, huh? The Dryad's an interesting inclusion in their archetype. Ooh, that's a great draw. Murder that innkeeper. Nailed it, chat. Just like we drew it up. Good night, Lovestruck Beast. Alright, did they hit their land on curve for the Scalds? They did not. Whenever you get your second spell each turn, create a 1/1. Sure. They're playing like Naya Adventures that someone made them put a bunch of bad cards into? Who hurt your deck, opponent? What was their name? You can tell me. We're friends here. Turn this into a 4/3 here this turn. It kind of looks like, what's it called? Was it, Warfield, who would do deck lists and let people donate to put bad cards into the deck? Like, you donate like $2 and change one card in the deck. It kind of looks like what our opponent is playing here. Like someone paid money to like mess the deck up by so many cards. Oh, Anderson was doing that. Yeah, he was too. Forgot about Valki's hidden text. Gotcha. Took 7. Need two more cards. Need one more land here for Ugin. No lands up there is pretty good for us. One more land and the janitor shows up. The janitor is such a good nickname for this card. But don't mind me, I'm just cleaning up after all you idiots. Alright, so we just gotta stay alive, huh? So the goal here is to make them draw as few cards as possible. So we'll kill the innkeeper here. We'll take a little bit of a hit inside of combat, but then the janitor gets to show up and mop up after things. Alright, they found a shepherd of the flock. Shepherd's actually a little annoying because it means I need to exile their Scalds next turn so they can't pick it back up. Like looking at my Crawling Barrens here. Wait, did they just play Shepherd? Oh, they picked it up right away. Got it. Alright, well, since they picked it up right away, that means Ugin doesn't have to down tick a ton, which is nice. We just play the janitor out here and -1 him then? I don't think I really care about this effect.
Accept a lesser world, and you will grow lost to history. All creation can be
These
undone.
damn adventure kids leaving their garbage everywhere. Ugin's here to sweep up after them. What's better than Escape the Wilds? Escape with one wipe. I mean, to be fair, Escape drew you or Escape ramped you as well, which was a big deal. Oh no! The opponent generated some card advantage. How will we ever keep up with this? We'll have to figure it out somehow, champ. You got it. You draw those cards. All of the cards belong to you.
You are too dangerous to roam free.
Play some cards out. Ugin's not tired yet. They have drawn a lot of cards. Thankfully, Ugin's like a 30 for one, chat. I can clean this board all game. Yeah, basically. Oh, I wonder if they cut... We haven't seen Giant Killer out of them yet. That must be what they cut to fit in some of these atypical card choices, huh? $25 cards left in their deck. Do any of them beat an Ugin? Okay, but what about second Ugins, chat? We've had first Ugins. What about second Ugins?
All creation can be undone.
Just wiggle on over here. Stop. Wiggle with it. Eugene! We did it, Eugene! We've bested the Naya menace! Good chat. Good chat. Attack with my 10/10 creature land. Didn't even need second Ugins, chat. Didn't even need second Ugins. Nightmare actually seems pretty bad here. I think I'd rather have stuff like Eliminate and Wilt. Wilt kills their Dryad too, which is funny. Funny/good. What are we trimming? Is it a Soul Shatter? Probably. I think I like the rest of this. Sure. Have all of our colors of mana. I got a couple of Doomblades. The Doomblades let us survive till the janitor can get here, chat. I mean, to be fair, like, the opponent's archetype has, like, a fire hose a card advantage, right? So, like, you kind of have to fight the fire with fire, huh? Like, Ugin's real good, but, like, so is what they're doing. Alright, and then we're not gonna repeat the mistake that lost me the first round of the tournament on Saturday. We're gonna kill the Lovestruck Beast right away. Don't let them untap with this card. Don't let them play Great Henge for 4 mana. Opponent's letting us kill their Innkeepers. Well, I mean, if they don't expose the Innkeeper, then I have a chance to, then they're not gonna get to draw a card with their Lovestruck Beast, right? Like, there's a risk to reward payoff there. Nah, binding the old gods being an uncommon is great. It's very silly that most playable cards in Magic are rares and mythics. More of this, please. Way more of this. We get to Valki them next turn here. It only takes not killing beasts and having them play hedge once to never do it again. Maybe if you're good at Magic. If you're like me, you've done it several times, though. Speaking from experience.
Let fire rage share in my pain.
Yeah, there be dragons. How long till Dad of Boy? Like an hour or so, TDM? Gonna shift gears off of Magic about 1 o'clock most days. We're climbing after all the rank points we spewed with the band tech this morning. Sure. We'll lead on Crawling Barrens, so I don't have to make a decision with this right away. We could potentially draw like a black land. If we draw Swamp, we'll want to play this on red. We sit on a throne of lies. I think we just take Usher, right? My deck's got 30 lands in it, and I had 2 castable spells with my 2 lands. So I think this keep was fine. Yeah, I changed the title to Dad of Boy when we actually start playing God of War, but for people that aren't familiar with the game, I want them to know what to expect. Shatter their soul and hit them for 2 next turn. Really? Really? Attack. Hey, what's going on, Sean? I think I want a Nightmare. Yeah, the chapter 2 on the Nightmare will take their land. So, like, they're gonna get to... So, the downside to Nightmaring is it lets them be efficient and use Shepherd of the Flock this turn, which I'm not super into. The upside to being able to take away one of these next turn is high, though. And this was why I prioritized taking the Usher as opposed to taking this with the Valki, because I wanted them to play this out so I didn't have to play around this effect. Yeah, I believe that's how that works. This is actually really good for us because this is awful against a piece of spot removal. But like they're also like obligated to make this play because they know the next chapter on Elspeth's Nightmare is coming up here. Okay, not the green source we wanted for Christmas, but it lets us hit a land drop this turn. It lets us look for one. Never didn't have it yet. Just like we drew it up. I think I'm just gonna Soul Shatter now. Just like try and not get into any sort of trouble here with random flash creatures or anything like that. And then I think we're probably into binding the Maul, right? Yeah, I like Soul Shatter a lot. And for those damn people that play that Tibalt deck, Soul Shatter is one of the best answers you can have to the things that they're doing. It kills Ugin and it kills 8/8 hexproof tokens. Killing the dragon, the 5/5 dragon, Goldspan, without giving them a treasure token is also very good. Because they have Selfless Savior here, I unfortunately can't just Heartless Act whatever they equip to. So I think we gotta just kill them all proactively here. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. This is hitting us a land next turn, so if we draw lands for our next 2 cards, we'll be able to play the Janitor on curve, which would be ideal. I mean, like, beggars shan't be choosers, I suppose. I have double red, I have double black. Doesn't really matter what I take here. I assume they didn't attack there because they didn't want to lose both their creatures to a removal spell, which would stop them from getting value with Scalds next turn. Heartless Act is so awkward against this card. If this archetype was more popular, I would play more Eliminates, I think. Alright, so what? So we want to draw a piece of removal this turn and then a land next turn? Okay, so this is actually incredibly good because it lets me guarantee Ugin next turn, right? Alright, there's a good chance this is being used as a -3/-3 mode here. So they're going to get 1, 2, 3 counters here, which technically means they have lethal, but Heartless Act keeps them from being lethal. And then the Janitor gets to show up next turn. Clean things out. What's with calling Ugin? He sweeps. Yeah, he cleans up after everyone. You did just rubber duck yourself. You got it. You got it. All right. So we're taking 7 down to 3. We're notably not dead to a stomp, which is all you could really ask for in life.
Power without wisdom is the path of the fool. Silence.
Great. Some of these decks play Goldspan, which is scary. Outside of Goldspan, like Double Crusher could be a little scary. But they're already through one of those, so hopefully that's not going to be a thing that gets us. Thankfully, Ugin can do this all day. They're actually just dead to Crawling Barrens next turn, right?
Reality is unwritten.
I'm actually going to decline here. Is that right? Yeah, I'm going to decline, and then I can play this and make this a 6/6 at the end of their turn. Hey, they're dead. Sick. Okay, so Eliminate is great, as mentioned. It actually probably isn't a Gargoth matchup. So Gargoth is really... It's incentivizing to bring this card in against all small creature decks, but creature decks that have real removal, this card is bad against. So this card is basically here for the red and the Gruul matchups. It's not good against these Naya decks that have Chop Down in them. Wilt sounds fine. Killing Scalds on occasion is good, and killing Maul is frequently great. I feel like Nightmare's probably a trim here. And maybe a Valki out. He's fine as a piece of late game card advantage, but his coming down on 2 tends to not be great here. Would I rather have Elspeth's Nightmare than Valki? I think I'd rather have Nightmare than Valki, actually. Just like an all Doomblades on deck matchup, essentially. I guess this breaking up their curve is nice, though. Could go either way. I'm gonna put Valki back in on the draw. Maybe we'll put Conquerors or Nightmare in on the play. BRB in a second. My 5 and 6 year old have cell phones because we're a technological household, and during the school day, my wife sets alarms on their cell phone for when their next class is going to be happening. So Declan's phone had been sitting out in the basement behind me with its alarm ringing for like the last game and a half, as he must be upstairs at class and forgot to turn it off. Thanks for the 23 months, Steve. Or 26 months. How did I turn 26 into 23? All right, we have our single green already, so the rest of these just make whatever color we want. Let's drop Valki in. I have not played Hitman. It's a newer game, right? The only like brand new game I've played was what's it called? We played Spider-Man Miles Morales was a current game that we played, which was very good. I think we play Crawling Barrens here. I don't want to commit to second black or second red on this just yet because I'm not sure which is better. So we'll Soul Shatter and enter combat here, so that way they didn't have time to move them all over. They really need a draw 4 here to be in this game. They don't have a draw 4 this turn. We're gonna start burying them. Yeah, if that's their play, that's real good for the home team. I think we pick second red here now, play Mazemind Tome, and then plan to Heartless Act their token. I think sounds like a great plan. Just do this now in case they have any silly tricks. How are the Rune Terra sets this morning? The Go Ezreal deck was mediocre. The Yasuo Aphelios deck was very good. Aphelios seems like the card Yasuo needed to be reasonable, which is sweet. All right, and then here we just get to continue curving elegantly. Like I said, I think we're pretty solidly approaching garbage time at this point. I get to go ahead and eliminate their creature. We get to draw a card with Mazemind Tome. We got Binding of the Old Gods wrapped up to kill this Maul at some point. Valki is just like slowly doing his thing. You know, we don't even need him yet, but the janitor's here just in case for later, chat. Need to clean up after these damn kids. These damn kids and their adventures. Back in Ugin's day, you had to spend 6 energy and look at your top 6 cards to cheat things into play. What is our opponent playing? They are playing red-white aggro. It's a deck Croakies has been playing a bunch of. That seems fine. It's got a lot of card advantage and think ways to draw for an aggro deck, which is neat. Oh no! Not 2 4/4s! How will we ever win the game now, opponent? I'm gonna have to think on it for a little bit. My favorite kind of Ugin, chat. A concession Ugin. My friend. Taking out the trash. He even swept around Valki, right? He doesn't always pay you that courtesy. Ugin sometimes sweeps your board up too, but you know, on occasion he can be a precision tool. Yeah, the delayed concession's always something. It's like, really, if you drew Scalds, were you really gonna be in the game? Were you really? All right, Yorion, I would bet this matchup's impossible. I would expect that without copies of Disdainful Stroke and Counter Magic that we are just like dead to rights against the Yorion decks. Let's find out. Redwick, thank you for the 40 months of Prime. It's a long time. Welcome back. Kept the 2-lander on the draw in my 30-land deck. Gonna miss our 3rd. Yikes! Alright, that's enough for me. Whenever I see these decks, like, People had asked, like, why the opponent's archetype, like, hadn't taken over the format with, like, what its matchups look like. The opponent's deck, because of hands that look like that, is very bad against most of the aggro decks in this format. So, tends to be a little, the opponent's archetype tends to be a little polarizing. It's very, very skewed matchups. You know, is this a Cling to Dust matchup? They probably have Omen of the Dead in addition to Elspeth Conquers Death. Hey, zombie. Thanks for the 14 months. Good morning. Good afternoon. Whatever time of day it is. Runtime! Checking in for the 13th. I think I probably don't want these Gargoths. Actually, I'm gonna leave one Spikefield in as a land, I think. No red mana. We got 2 copies of Ugin here. Show me all secrets. Okay, so I think the plan is then take Doom Foretold, and then we're waiting to play Valki as Tibalt then, with all of their removal. And you can see here, we conceded so early last game, they have cards like Glass Casket in their deck post-board against us, which is like really good for us. Alright, chat. What are the odds this Crawling Baron deals all 20 points of damage this game? Feels like a strong possibility. Non-zero. Yeah, I'd probably give a coin flip. I'd probably give a coin flip that this Barons could go the whole distance here. It's going for speed. It's all alone in this time of need. It's racing and pacing and plotting the course. Okay, so like, real question. Do I Binding of the Old Gods this golden egg so the Fight Wolf can't kill my dragon? I mean, like, I want the land, right? So, I feel like this is a real play. I think... I don't know that we're, like, excited about it, but it feels like the line. It's one of those, like, God damn it, I guess if I have to... If you're gonna make me do it... Love to get a second red source. Huh. So... we're just passing again, right? And this is a tough part about, like, the gold spans in this matchup, right? So, like, they can't Yorion this turn. Huh. Was I supposed to Valki because they couldn't Yorion? Yeah, they don't have second white, right? I think maybe I was supposed to do this, actually. Nah, it'll be fine. Sick. There's a land. Okay, and then Goldspan means we can Ugin next turn, right? Well, I would have taken the wolf, Pawaga. So if I would have played Valki last turn, we'd take the wolf.
My research has concluded.
So it's just like 1000% play second Goldspan Dragon, right? What color we get here? Yeah, Apparition can't hit the dragons. Ha! I can Tibalt this turn too. That's sick. Crawling Barrens was promised blood, Jeff. You lied to the Crawling Barrens. Why would you do this? That's sweet. That's gasoline. Just like tap 3 treasures in a land, cast my 7-drop. Yeah, the fact, and like, it was a super little thing, right? But like, the play that won this game was killing an egg with Binding of the Old Gods. Like, that was the winning play this game. Here's my 3rd dragon, and then I'll cast my Ugin. Alright, felt good. We get a little bit fortunate that our opponent was missing their 2nd white. Killing their egg also did that, which was great. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. Let's run it back. Goldspan, allowing us to ramp up into our 8 expensive planeswalkers, working exactly how I wanted it to work there. Felt good. Mr. Brightside, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to everybody, by the way. Thanks for hanging out. Great to see almost 900 people in here this afternoon. If you're new to the channel, my name's Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I do card games, Legends of Runeterra, and Magic the Gathering here 5 days a week. I do a few hours of each. We also do some single-player story-driven stuff. We're going to play a couple more matches with this Jund deck, and then we're going to be continuing my God of War playthrough on the PlayStation. Also have a YouTube channel where absolutely everything I stream gets archived. So usually I play 2 Runeterra decks and 2 Magic decks every single day. So if you're looking for a good wealth of variety of stuff for either of those games, you can find that there. Poker face, poker face, my. Duress me? Oh, Gilded Goose, sure. That's much better than Duress. So, would prefer not to lose my land to a Duress this turn. Opponent's mana situation gonna be much better this game, obviously. Phoenix Rising is on my list of things to play eventually. Heard good things about it. I picked it up when it was on sale. Yeah, I think we're super in for Binding, right? Because we wanna Binding this trail, and then it'll help us ramp. We'll like go Blightstep Pathway, bind this trail of crumbs, or a threat if they play a threat perhaps, and then we'll get to Dragon the following turn. A touch unfortunate. Okay, so I have to decide, do I want to give them the option to take my land here? I think the answer is no. pretty sure the answer is no. You know, I could kill the Nightmare here, right? Is that crazy? I feel like that's not crazy. Cause like they're out of food, right? Yeah, that's true too. If I don't kill the Nightmare, they could repeat it with Yorion if they have one in hand. That's a big reason to kill Nightmare. That's a good catch. All right, they missed a land drop. Do I just run back the binding play now to get closer to Ugin? I think I do. Oh yeah, bind me, daddy. You didn't need that 5th land, did you? That's hella rude. These damn kids and their rap music and their doom foretold. Ugin's had enough of your crap.
All creation can be undone.
All creation. Ugin needs a throat lozenge, something.
Then this is my fate.
Wilt's actually a really nice pickup here, because it means if they try to Yorion this turn, I get to kill it in response. Yeah, it felt fine, Gengar. Having a bunch of Ugins is giving us more play than I thought. Is it worth proactively wilting to destroy the land? Nah, I don't think so. I'd much rather do this. I think questions like those are pretty pointless, Deep Scope, because they're things that are just not going to happen, so they're not worth discussing. It's a waste of energy and mental capacity. Is Ugin the de facto safest craft? As far as mythics go, like dual lands are the safest craft in the game, and it's not close. Yikes. Think we're supposed to get rid of these so they can't be Yorioned, so they can't Yorion us with them. It's close though. Eerie Ultimatum definitely makes Elspeth's Nightmare more important in this matchup, though. And like cards, people saying like this match has felt okay, cards like this are one of the many reasons why it's probably not. The fact that we haven't drawn a Crawling Barrens in our many lands sucks. Like if we had a Crawling Barrens, we'd win this game, right? We'd have smacked them for like lethal here probably, or close to it. Tibalt would be a good draw. Crawling Barrens is a good draw. The Mazemind Tome is a great draw at this point. There's nothing quite more peak Magic than listing off all your good draws and then drawing 2 lands in a row. Ugin is at least big enough to kill this Yorion, which is nice. That's a great draw. Forgot we had this one in here to draw too. Let's get rid of their things that Eerie Ultimatum bring back. Hey yo, I say hey yo, Mazemind drawing lots of cards. I think I'm just leaving this in play for now. Cause I don't want to like draw a Tibalt and get it like discard spelled. After I draw with this, I only have 5 mana, so I think I want to play around a discard spell by not using this turn. Going face instead of the bird means the bird makes more food returning Dawn. So not killing the bird makes 0 sense if you're trying to race them, because you can't. Your suggestion doesn't actually race them. Like this here, right? Like this, I could just shoot their face instead of shooting this, but this is getting rid of a food, so it's this, the equivalent of shooting their face.
My greatest creation.
All right, so I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can triple activate Crawling Barrens here, which means I can block this Wicked Wolf and not lose it. Is Eerie Ultimatum their best draw? Yeah, probably, and even that one's not that good because I've exiled a bunch of stuff. Eerie Ultimatum, like, draws them a card and gives them a goose. Alright, and they're dead next turn if they don't have anything. This is a brick, they're dead. Well, shit.
I will destroy if I must.
The dogs of 4.
Accept a lesser world, and you will grow lost to history.
This puts enough cards in my bin for Kling to draw another card, which is great. Visionary. Vision is scary. Start a revolution. Polluting the airwaves. Such a disaster. Well, this is 5 other cards. Okay, I messed up on that. That's fine, though. Second Crawling Barrens, please. Oh yeah, we're 1000% to cantrip the Duress.
Beyond
Not close. Oh, actually, this gets return a number of permanents with different names to give to the battlefield. We should actually exile their Triome here, right? So they can get that one back.
my research has concluded.
What's going on, Dr. Mr. Putty? We have 2 more Crawling Barrens in all of these cards and 3 more Tybalts, or 3 more Tybalts in there? 3 more Tybalts. Nailed it.
I am Volt, God of... Oh my God.
Why did we burn out the Visionary set? This thing gains them 3 life, chat. People keep asking me why I keep doing things, not realizing my opponent's 3 life higher than their life total says.
Not ignore.
This is a food. We've not played against Blue-Red yet. I imagine that matchup's good for us, though. Soul Shatter is big game. We have lots of removal spells to kill their threats. That's huge. Okay, they have three foods here, right? Yep. Yep. You have a game, as they say. You count 20 lands drawn. That's not actually that far from 1 standard deviation from the mean. Our deck's playing 30 lands, so...
Let's play a little game.
Okay, so I probably want to save Binding for their next threat, right? So I think we -2 this Ugin to get rid of Trail of Crumbs. And remember, Valki is an emblem, so even if they get rid of this, I can still cast this next Tybalt. That's super unfortunate. We're also out of Ugins at this point.
To another realm, I suppose.
Well, Tybalt was going to ultimate, and if I ultimate Tybalt, I get all the cards out of their graveyard.
My disguise.
Something to note.
Oh, so many painful memories.
Oh, fuck, I already played the land. Oh, I knew I was waiting to play my land for a reason. That's awkward. Okay, so we do this for 3 to get rid of these. We do this. We draw a card. We Yorion, blink Ugin, blink Mazemind Tome. I have to do this, right? This is hopefully gonna be the saving grace here.
But we were having such fun.
This card should hopefully kill them. This kills their cantrip. Because there's a visionary in here.
I leave you to your duel.
Opponents at 17, chat. They're nowhere close to them. We have 18 cards in our deck. They have 33 in theirs. Is this the boy waiting room? We will be a Dad of Boy stream soon. Probably gonna play one more match after this before we shift over to Dad of Boy. Oh no! Wow. To be fair to us, or to be fair to the opponent, this is their first Treacherous Blessing in 50 cards. Like, they drew a lot of cards without a Treacherous Blessing this game. Close your heart to Yorion, boy. Alright, so Ugin finally eats it here. We're out of Ugins. We have one more Tybalt. We've got this Crawling Barrens and one more. Is this lethal? This is a lethal Elspeth's nightmare, right? Because of my boy Crawly B. They're out of mana, right? Oh yeah, what a satisfying thud. Just thunk. That was sweet. We won both post-board matches there. Both post-board games. We stumbled and died in the first game and conceded early, and then both the post-board games we took down very handily. Hey, Jetherin, thank you for the 17 months. Welcome back. That was sweet. Hey, Demomoss, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can ship those Bezo bucks to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending them this way this month and keeping me around. Dabs, thank you for the 22 months. Yeah, this is fine. Crawling Barrens gets the blood it wanted. Yep. Have a good one, Twin. Hey, thanks for the game to you too. Good luck in the rest of your laddering today. All right, so I think I just jammed this because Negate's the only counterspell they have that tags this at this opportune point, and I would really like to resolve this spell in this matchup. Opponent had 4 foods, was technically at 17. I'm a man of my word. Thank you for the tip, Titan. We need a borrower here. Thanks for the scribe. Yep, in for a 5th land. Yeah, I think borrower bounce is fine for us. Yeah, I conceded game 1 super early because we stumbled. Oh, that should have been a green mana, right? It doesn't really matter though. This is green. There is Jawari's Disruption that counters unless I pay 1. So you could argue I'm supposed to play my land out first there, but that effect's gonna get us at some point, so I don't think it's really a big deal to just GM. Love Soul Shatter against the Dragon deck. You know, it could be right to jam Valki here. Oh, they're just beholding. Deal. I have a favorite standard deck at the moment. I like this green-black X shell. We spent a lot of time playing Sultai last week. I like this binding ramp to Ugin type deck. I like it a lot. So their deck, generally speaking, does not play. Well, I can just Goldspan them back here now, right? That's great. I was gonna say, their deck usually doesn't have targets for this effect, so it might be right to play it out, but dragoning them is just better. The Soul Shatter art is phenomenal. Big agree. We did win the last game, full effect. Crawling Barrens got the blood it wanted. If they have another dragon and some counterspells here, we could be in trouble. We crawled to victory, yep. Oh, this does trigger on friendly spells too, doesn't it? It's cute. I'll draw a card here and try and hit a land. Every turn they don't commit a threat to the board feels like a huge win for us. Gosh, now I really want to put this in a teamer deck to copy it with the blue Mythos. You copy this with the blue Mythos, you get a treasure. That's how, I don't want to play pump spells with this. I want to copy this with the blue Mythos. We're gonna have to do that at some point. Play some teamer mid-range. I don't need second green in game 1. I'm gonna go ahead and play out Nightmare here. It's like counterspell on suspend 1. You do not. It's only spells, not spells or abilities. That's why things like Binding of the Old Gods don't trigger it. This will hopefully clear the way for Goldspan or Valki next turn. Ramping into Ultimatum just sounds like a bad version of the Ultimatum deck. I try not to just... when I do build arounds, I try not to build worse versions of existing decks. I don't know, maybe you're like a fair Ultimatum deck that's not all in on ramping. You like just play Dragon and Mythos as your only ramp. Maybe that's fine. I'll have to draft something up tonight. Again, want to just Heartless Act right away here. The goal being to keep the board as clean as possible, as long as possible. No, we do not have KTK in Historic yet. Looking forward to that set B. I hope they ban Uro by the time they add KTK. I'll be pretty sad if Uro is still legal by the time. You're gonna take their counterspell and throw it face down over here and be annoying. Khans of Tarkir is KTK. It's a set. Well, fetch lands won't be added to Arena. So fetch lands are not Pioneer legal. When they do Khans Remastered, that almost assuredly will not have fetch lands in it. Just for point of reference. I think we actually take the Shark Typhoon here, right? The Shark Typhoon is the 2-for-1. I mean, like, this hand's actually not that good, chat. For people that are like, oh no, not the handful of counterspells, like, it's really not. Like, we're gonna get 1-for-1 to punch, but that's all it's gonna be, right? You just gotta slowly grind through it. This game is not gonna be decided by these counterspells. This game is gonna be decided by, who draws more card advantage. Yeah, the fact that they have a Faithless Haven and we don't have our creature land could be the deciding factor in this game easily. I think this is smart on their part, by the way. They're declining to protect their own threats, prioritizing their removal to answer our threats. It's a very, very smart way for them to approach this matchup. I think opponent's playing this pretty well. And then we're definitely at the point where if I draw lands, I want to be able to cycle them. So we'll grab the basic forest out here, so that if we draw Triomes, we can replace them with something else. So I think we just get 2 counterspells out of them this turn, right? It's like head to the Space Jam. They'll probably cast their Sawk coming out of hand here, I imagine. And this is a Sawk coming face down. Yeah. So we've got a negate to get through. All right, just chilling. If they drew a Glimpse of the Cosmos here, it's real bad for us. Just a borrower, sure. Because we have way more pieces of removal than we have threats. So generally speaking, they want to save their answers for the things that I have fewer of. Eventually hoping that I flood out a little bit like this. That's how they win a game like this. Like, I imagine based on how this game is played so far, they're just gonna let this resolve. Even with the negate in their hand. Yeah. And I think, like I said, I think they've played this game really well. In fact, they've played well, and the fact that they've drawn a creature land and we haven't is the difference here. 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. So I've drawn 11 lands, and they've drawn 8 lands, and they've drawn a creature land, and they're 8 lands. Okay, and then if they have a dragon here, this game is over. This is probably a threat they'll protect. Hello, Declan. Good. You need to wear a shirt to come in here. You know that. Your phone is on the corner thing right out there in the room. The thing with the cubes in it that we brought down at the bottom of the stairs. And this is Assault coming. Yeah, Disdainful Stroke too, sure. Yep, Magic's very expensive. Always has been, always will be. Chainweb is absurd in this matchup. Duress is good. Remorse is good. Gargaroth is good. What am I trimming? What are we getting rid of? I think it's just Nightmares out. The fact that it doesn't kill anything feels bad. It could honestly be cutting Ugin here too. He's real expensive and doesn't trade super efficiently. Usually we want to be 1-for-1ing their board. I can see trimming a Spikefield Hazard. It basically only kills Borrower out of their deck. We have 26 actual lands, so I could probably cut another one of these spell lands, huh? Puts me to 29 mana sources is probably fine. I think I'd rather have 2 of these than 2 of these. Bilbo, if you're still here, thanks for the follow. Sorry, I missed that one. Okie doke. Yeah, trimming lands when I'm cutting my 8 drops is also a pretty reasonable thing to be doing. I think we just want to take their card advantage here. Huh, you know, honestly... Got me. I think I'm just passing here. This is definitely a YOLO dragon next turn with them only having 2 cards that I don't know. Is it a YOLO dragon if I draw Mazemind Tome? I only have 1 card I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a YOLO dragon. Well, is it? Like, if I YOLO the dragon... If I YOLO the dragon, they're just gonna bounce it with Brazen Borrower, right? I think I'd rather do this. And try and generate some card advantage. This gets countered by fewer things, too. This doesn't get hit by stroke or scatter. And, like, if they bounce this, it actually just nets me an extra draw, because the life gain's not really the important part of this card in this matchup. Last time they bounced it when I could only scry. Changes the dynamic a good bit. If this matchup is tough, I might want some more discard spells on the board. Like, I could see playing, like, a full suite of Agonizing Remorse being correct, even if they can hide their counter spells on occasion. Huh. Alright, let's bait with Valki. Because Valki might get them to play the Brazen Borrower in response, then we can Chainweb, kill the Brazen Borrower. One could argue I'm a master at beating chat. So if they want a Shatterskull Smashing here to kill my things, I get a window to slam my dragon. Which sounds good for us, and like this escapes back. I could want a 3rd Chainweb in the sideboard of this deck too, talking about sideboard stuff. This card's really good against rogues, and it's excellent here. Definitely want to take their card away here. Yep. Pretty commanding position here. All about that card advantage. Taking their Behold early worked out really well for us. And then we have the Mazemind Tome to get going. There's actual factual Stormwraths in Standard, yeah. 4 mana, deal 4 to everything. Usually these decks play 1 or 2 copies of that card. Draw now in case we hit a land to put into play. What you doing over there? What you doing over there? It's like a tap concede. Ah, Shark Typhoon. That makes sense. Not in the magic extension lets me view cards on the board. Sometimes you need to disable your ad blocker for Twitch extensions to work. If you're also watching from earlier today when we were doing Runeterra stuff, you have to refresh your browser page when we change games for the new extension to pop up. That's a Twitch bug. Yes. To Duress them before they get to foretell things. I might live to regret that decision. Might be right to take the negate there. I bottom that, looking for a Soul Shatter for this dragon. Be cycling Ketria Triome on 3 most likely. This is a post-board matchup where I have Elder Gargaroth in my deck as well, so I do need to think about having double green at some point. Yeah, leaving that negate to get us dead here. That's with this dragon. This is probably going to be a quick game. If they YOLO the dragon on 5. And now they're pretty incentivized to YOLO the dragon because I don't have Soul Shatter up anymore. Playing out Binding just to ramp ever a consideration? I mean, depending on the situation, sure. Usually it's not the correct play. In a matchup like this, it depends on like the context of your hand and like the matchup that you're playing. Alright, so this is gonna get negated. And then we're kind of hoping they don't have another... We're hoping they don't have another dragon next turn. If they have another threat next turn, we're going to be up a creek without a paddle. If they don't have another dragon, we get to go Agonizing Remorse, and then they need to have double counter spells. If they have just a couple of lands here, or just one, if they have a land and one spell, we're in a good spot. Oh, fuck me. They're going to foretell a counter spell. Oh, just Bone Crusher, sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm holding the Triumph because we might be cycling at this game. That's exactly correct. So we're going to 9. We're going to 5. They should not counterspell this. They want me to lose life. You think there's a chance my opponent messed up here by not foretelling that counterspell last turn? Close game. Am I playing a dragon on defense? Probably. Feels like a dragon on defense. Get Brazen Borrower, feel bad about myself. All things considered. I would rather block this, because Heartless Act can't kill this once I go to 1. Okay, so I should start by cycling this, right? Because I still have 5 mana available. It was not the Heartless Act I wanted for Christmas. Dead to a stiff breeze here. Brazen Borrower. Smells like it. Could be a Shatterskull Smashing too. Like, considering what cards I could have, they're saying I haven't played a Heartless Act yet, so Heartless Act technically means we live here, but if I had Heartless Act, I would have attacked, right? Cheesy Pastries, thanks for the 21 months, welcome back. Gargaroth! Haha! Oh, I should have played that on red, right? I was just excited that we drew what I needed. Don't do it! Don't do it! Pass the turn! Pass the turn! Pass the turn! Everybody clench! God damn it, Billy! That's really annoying. The fucking tank Magic players. There's nothing more peak Magic player than making me wait 30 fucking seconds after they draw exactly what they need. That was a good set regardless, even if our opponent took 40 seconds to figure out that they drew what they needed. This deck. I was really happy with this deck. It felt like it had a lot of good things going on. I was really impressed with the Abzant matchup that we played. Like, the fact that we were able to grind that out was really impressive. As far as like sideboard stuff goes, we used all of the cards in our sideboard at various points today. This Valakut Awakening was the one card that was kind of silly that I probably didn't need. Like, my idea was that, like, there's some matchups where Spikefield Hazard's not good, where I would swap this out for Spikefield Hazard, but honestly, our deck's playing 26 actual lands plus these spell lands, so in matchups where Spikefield's not good, I think we can actually afford to, just board down on lands. Effects that I felt like I wouldn't mind more copies of, both Chainweb and Agonizing Remorse, felt like they were cards that I wouldn't mind seeing more often, so I could see doing one or both of those, so yeah, I was happy with this. I think we're gonna probably play this one again. I could see myself playing this in the F2K tournament on Saturday, which I found out the people that are hosting the F2K tournament, they want decklist due Thursday night because they think having decklist due Thursday night will prevent people from not showing up, which is funny. Apparently they haven't run a tournament before. All right, at any rate, I'm gonna be done with Magic for the afternoon. We're gonna play some God of War.